We're about to dive headfirst into one of the biggest questions in tech right now. It's a question that's packed with hype, a little bit of fear, and a whole lot of questions about the future. We're talking about AI and its relationship with the people who actually build our digital world, the programmers. So let's just get right to it, right? Does learning to code even make sense anymore? I mean, we've got generative AI, copilots, code writing agents. It's a totally fair question. A lot of people are wondering if the entire job of a software developer is about to just disappear. But before we jump to any conclusions, we really need to look past the scary headlines and see what the data is actually telling us. Okay, check out this number, 49.63%. Now, what is that? Well, according to a huge study of open source projects, that's the percentage of new Python projects that were using machine learning libraries by 2018. And what makes that so crazy is that back in 2013, that number was just 1.75%. I mean, that is just an unbelievable jump. It shows you how deeply ML is already part of the modern software world. And hey, this isn't just some trend happening in open source. The business world is completely all in. Projections are showing that a while 90% of enterprise apps are going to have AI built into them in some way. So here's the bottom line. The debate about if AI is coming to software, that's over. It's already here. The real question we need to be asking now is how we're going to use it.
And to understand the how, we've got to know what we're working with because, AI isn't just one thing. It's more like a toolkit with different tools for different jobs. And for businesses, it really boils down to two main paths, rule-based systems and machine learning.
So first up, you've got rule-based AI. The easiest way to think about this is like a perfect recipe book that never ever changes. It runs on a simple set of if-then rules that a human literally writes out. If this specific thing happens, then do that specific thing. It's predictable, it's precise, and you can always explain why it did what it did. This makes it absolutely perfect for things like, say, validating an insurance claim, where the rules are crystal clear and you just can't afford to make a mistake.
And then on the other side, you've got machine learning. Now this is more like a trainee chef. Instead of a fixed recipe, it learns by cooking thousands and thousands of dishes, or in this case, by digging through massive amounts of data. It starts to see patterns on its own and basically writes its own rules. The more data you feed it, the better it gets at making predictions. This is the magic behind your Netflix recommendations or a company's sales forecast.
So when you put them side by side, you really see the trade-offs, right? Rule-based AI is super fast, it's transparent, and it's perfect when you have clear static rules. Machine learning, on the other hand, is amazing when you're dealing with really complex patterns and huge data sets, but it can sometimes be a black box. It's hard to know exactly why it made a certain decision. Neither one is better, they're just different tools for different jobs. So how is all of this actually playing out in the real world? Well, it's leading to something a lot of people are calling Software 2.0. And this isn't just some academic idea, it's what happens when the machine learning revolution hits the road. And believe me, it is creating a whole new set of challenges for engineers. Yeah, because using machine learning isn't like waving a magic wand. It brings a whole new category of headaches. A model you trained with one tool might completely break when you update that tool. A single tiny library update can cause a massive domino effect, forcing you to rewrite a dozen other things. You're in this constant cycle of retraining models and managing different versions. These are the real, nitty-gritty problems that developers are wrestling with every single day. Which, of course, brings us right back to our main question. If AI is handling more of the logic and creating all these new problems, what does that mean for the human programmer? Well, this isn't about being replaced. It's about evolving. This quote right here just nails it. The job isn't going away. It's changing. It's actually being elevated. The value is shifting away from the mechanical part, the typing of the code, and it's moving towards the higher level thinking that actually directs the whole operation. Let's break that down. The old way of thinking about a programmer was someone whose main job was to write code. But let's be honest, AI is getting really, really good at that part. The new reality is that a programmer's main job is to solve problems. And that means understanding the business, designing the architecture of the system, making sure it's secure, and making big strategic decisions. AI is the tool that helps with the writing part, which frees up the humans to focus on the thinking part. So what should you focus on if you're a developer?
The fundamentals. Seriously. An AI can spit out a function, sure, but it has no idea if you should be using a SQL or a NoSQL database for your project. It can't design a system that's going to scale to millions of users. That deep understanding of data structures, databases, and architecture is more important than ever because you need that knowledge to tell the AI what to do and to know if what it produced is any good.
Okay, so if we have these two different AI paths, the super precise recipe book and the learn as you go trainee chef, and we have a human architect making the big decisions, what does the most powerful setup look like? You guessed it. The future is hybrid. Let me give you a perfect real-world example. Imagine a logistics company. They could use a machine learning model to look at weather, sales data, and traffic to predict when customer demand is going to spike. That's the adaptive, smart part. But then they use a rule-based system to make sure every single delivery route follows strict regulations, like truck weight limits or delivery time windows. That's the precision part. When you put them together, you get a system that's both incredibly intelligent and totally compliant.
So this gives us a really simple but powerful way to make decisions. If your rules are clear and you absolutely need precision, go with a rule-based system. If you need to find hidden patterns in messy data and make predictions, machine learning is your best friend. And if you need the best of both worlds, you need to be adaptive, but you also need strict guardrails, then a hybrid approach is almost always the strongest solution. So let's circle all the way back. Does learning to code still make sense? Oh, absolutely. But not just to write code. It makes sense if your goal is to be a problem solver, a system architect, a technical strategist. AI isn't the thing that's replacing the programmer. It's the new power tool for the modern software craftsman. The demand isn't for people who can type. The demand is for people who can think. The real question isn't whether the tool is going to take over, it's who is going to learn to master it.